In these uncertain economic times, it's easy to be worried about protecting your wealth, your hard-earned savings, and your family's financial future. Plunging interest rates, the devaluating dollar, and political unrest constantly threaten what you have worked hard to earn and all that you own. That's why now it's more important than ever to protect your assets and have the money you need to make your dreams come true. Welcome to the Global Wealth Fortress Report with successful global entrepreneur and wealth preservation expert Joel Nagel. Joel's helped thousands of people just like you protect what you have so that you can make even more and make your every dream come true. So, sit back and enjoy Joel Nagel's offshore expert advice on how you can live the good life at a great price, where the sun never sets on your financial fortress.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Global Wealth Fortress Report. I'm Joel Nagel, coming to you today from the very heart of Vienna, Austria, the Stephansplatz. Behind me is the St. Stephen's Cathedral, really the iconic landmark of Vienna. The downtown Vienna has a ring around it. It's called Ringstrasse, which looks like a clock face, and the cathedral is literally in the very, very center of that ring, and everything emanates, north, south, east, and west of the Stephansdom. So, like a lot of the iconic things in Vienna, these buildings are hundreds of years old. The roof actually suffered damage at the very, very end of World War II. It was actually bombed erroneously by an American bombing unit that was targeting a factory nearby. They hit the church instead, and the story goes that when the war ended, the members of the U.S. Military unit that had bombed the church did a huge fundraising event and actually raised the money to put the new roof back on the church. So St. Stephen's is still a functioning church, but it also has a lot of cultural things going on there, concerts. Whenever any famous people come to Vienna, they usually make some kind of appearance at the Stephansdom. So I wanted to talk to you today a little bit as we're winding up this series on Austria. I have a few more sections of the series that I want to still do, but we are winding up. I do want to mention banking, because a lot of people are interested in what Austria can do for them from a private banking perspective. And just here, on the side of the Stephansdom are two of the larger private banks. We have Bank Austria, which is a huge consumer retail bank. It's part of the UniCredit Group, which is an Italian conglomerate. They have a private wealth management group. And then you have, just on the other side, Bankhaus Spangler, which is the oldest private bank in Austria. It's very posh. If you try to walk in off the street, they immediately ask you who you are. You have to basically come with an introduction to be able to go into the bank and use it. So, the banks here have the concept of privacy and secrecy. It's been around hundreds of years. It's actually enshrined in the Austrian Constitution. The post-World War II Constitution has the notion of privacy and confidentiality. So, up until a few years ago, it was absolutely unthinkable that a Austrian bank would ever provide, a client's information. Now, the U.S. FATCA laws, the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, have really driven a wedge, into that bank secrecy. And, it's possible now for the U.S. government and the IRS to get information about your account if you don't properly report it the way you're supposed to. So beyond that, people say, is bank privacy and bank secrecy dead? And I would say absolutely not. You go into these old bank houses where your information is very, very quiet, very confidential. The type of services that the banks can help you with are truly amazing. I mean, if you want to invest in different currencies or buy gold, or they can help you buy real estate and finance it. There's really almost nothing that the banks can't do. But particularly since FATCA, everybody's whiter than white, and the first thing, if they agree to accept you, and that's not a given, they're going to want to understand what your connection to Austria is and why are you banking here in the first place. Probably going to want a reference letter from your lawyer or your CPA, basically, saying that you're compliant with all your home country tax obligations. Once they get through those hoops and hurdles and decide that they're going to accept you, you'll find that you have really a tremendous, it's a tremendous financial team to have around you. They can really help you with anything you want to do. I know right now in Europe the interest rates for savers has actually gone negative, anywhere from 0.5% to an entire percent, which means interest rate for borrowers is extremely, extremely low. So if you're interested in buying property in Europe, or doing something where you have sufficient collateral, either in the property itself or other collateral, let's say gold or securities, the borrowing costs here, I've never ever in my career seen lower borrowing costs. Borrowing costs here around anywhere from just under 1% to just over 2%. So it's very common to see a 20-year mortgage at 1.25%. And that's just not something you're going to find anywhere else. So I'd like to continue on, but it's actually starting to rain here. The weather's changing. It's fall here in Vienna. You can see some of the dark clouds behind me, and the rain is starting to fall. But I hope that you'll be inspired by the Stephansdom. It's really a wonderful place. I hope that you'll consider joining me for my private Global Wealth Fortress Austria program. That's going to be December 4 through 6. We'll come here, we'll visit the Stephansplatz with all the Christmas lights and decorations and all of the festive music and the Glühwein and on and on. So I hope you'll join me for that. Also, don't forget about President's Week. It's coming up here. It's right around the corner, November 14th to 18th in Las Vegas. If you've never been to one of my events, I would highly, highly encourage it. We're going to have top people from every different type of service you can imagine, whether it's banking, insurance, real estate, taxation, second citizenships, on and on and on. We truly have the A team of professionals coming to you. So until next time, I want to wish you happiness, I want to wish you health, and I want to wish you wealth that can't be taken away by anybody. So until then, have a good day and see you next time.
Thanks for joining Joel Nagel and the Global Wealth Fortress Report, a whole new approach to asset protection and estate planning, so that now you can live the good life at a great price, where the sun never sets on your financial fortress.